This is probably the video you're going to be most thankful for if you watch this and you took it into your research and then applied it. But it's only going to be useful if you watch yesterday's video. In yesterday's video, I've basically shown you the altcoin market, my expectations, why this time is still not different, and why 2025 is going to be fantastic. And in this video, I'm going to show you 10 altcoins that I will be buying and that I already have during this stage of the crypto market. So welcome to the Fomo Factory. Like the video if you already like the video. Subscribe, turn the bell notification on, and let's get right into it. So 2024, we can now leave it behind us and we can go into the seasonal altcoin season year. Right? If you look at alt seasons, when did they take place? If you look over the full year, then you can see there were 2 years where altcoins outperformed Bitcoin by a lot. First time was 2017, second time was 2021, and we're now going to enter 2025. And in that video, I explained why I don't expect anything else in 2025. However, there are now, just like last market, more altcoins on the market, and it's harder to identify which ones are the ones that are really gonna outperform a lot. Now, I must say that even in a good market, bad altcoins can perform really well. Okay, so it's important that if you want to skip to the top 10 altcoins, that you understand how the market moves first, right? You're not going to sit comfortable on a bag of altcoins if you do not understand in what kind of market they are moving in the first place. So please understand that first. Therefore, watch yesterday's video if you haven't already. Now, like said, like in a bad market, you can buy a good altcoin. Let me give you an example right here, and I can throw a lot of examples to you, but in a bad market, right? In a 2021 peak market, for example, yeah, if you're gonna buy altcoins right there, then it doesn't matter that the altcoin is Superverse, which is a really good project. It doesn't really matter that the altcoin is good. You're still gonna wreck yourself and completely kind of lose all your money, right? Now, there are also examples that go the other way around. In a good market, you can even buy a hell of a Ponzi, right? Which is way too obvious what it doesn't do actually, right? But in a good market, yeah, I mean, if you bought it right here, you wrote it up and you made a lot of money. Okay, so therefore, I do want to say that, hey guys, in a bull market, you can listen to anybody on YouTube saying, hey, buy this altcoin, and the altcoin goes up, and that YouTuber or whatever looks like a genius, while in fact, it's really hard to call something and then it doesn't go up, right? However, there are always sectors that are gonna outperform and gonna underperform. So the question is not really if you are gonna make money next year if you are buying right now. Question is more like how much, right? And it's gonna be a hard market. It's gonna be stressful. When do you sell? When is enough, right? Like in the top of the bull market, it feels like it can never go down, and then it will, and it's gonna be hard, right? But to already tackle one problem, which altcoins are gonna outperform? Now, I'm gonna show you right now. And again, I'm gonna get hate for that. I'm already getting hate for that on the channel because this sector in the last couple months hasn't performed yet. Because you want to, in crypto, to make money, you want to put your money somewhere and then that people after you put their money in. That's how they pump the price, right? You not want to buy something that's already up, right? Like for example, you can now buy XRP. Yeah, that's great, right? But what kind of upside do you really expect in that case, right? If you wanted to buy it here. Nobody believed in it. And to be honest, I didn't as well, right? But now it pumped, right? So don't look at the things that pumped too much. You can look at the steady outperformers, of course. Again, XRP is not a steady outperformer. XRP is, for example, more a coin that is always an underperformer and has a very brief moment where it outperforms really hard and then dumps really hard again. But you can also look at coins that are steady outperforming, and especially against Bitcoin, right? These coins will probably do fine. But You also want to open your eyes to what the market is telling you. And my thesis is this. In an altcoin market, right? Let's take a look at the altcoin market. How do people make money in an altcoin market? That's very simple, right? You want to buy early so you can sell high, right? Now, is it early? It's not bottom early on the dollar pair, on the Bitcoin pair it is, but it's not bottom early, right? But we are still in a pretty good position if you ask me, if we look back in a year from now. However, we at a certain point at the altcoin market sit at a place, right? This, for example, is where we are sitting right now compared to the last cycle. Here, right? Here, below the previous all-time high, but in a clear uptrend. It's kind of what we're doing right now as well, right? We're now sitting somewhere here. People still make money by being somewhat early, but at a certain point, people look at the altcoin market and be like, yeah, I'm not that early anymore. Now, how else do people do it? They were gambling into meme coins on pump fun, right? Yeah, that I think no one with half a brain is going to do that in the coming year, right? Because why would you gamble with an almost guaranteed chance of losing in a market where everything is kind of going up, right? You do not need to gamble for these returns. So how else can you be early? And if you shut this video off right now, you don't, sorry for you, sorry for your loss in this case. But the cool thing is as well, nobody is talking about this. And I am going to be honest, I have been making money with this. And it wasn't even an alt season yet, right? The thing how people can still be early is by getting into new lunches. Now, of course, you can look at a Twitter account of a coin which is going to do a fair lunch on their own website or whatever. Yeah, that's a lot of risk, right? Because if it fails, then you lose your money. Well, another way are launch pads, right? Launch pads are the way to do this because most of them, at least, and the ones that I'm going to talk about, have a refund policy. So what you basically do is you buy the Launchpad token, you stake it for a month, or it depends on the project, right? I wouldn't recommend looking at Launchpad tokens that you have to stake for a year or longer, but you always have options to stake it for a month. Keep them liquid in the bull market. That's my biggest advice. But you buy the token, you stake it, and then you get access to their launches, right? And if the launch doesn't do what you wanted it to do, then you just ask for a refund. You get your money back and you put it in the next one. Easy peasy, really easy. Now, I want to show you some historical data on why this is good. And then I want to give you 10 coins. 10 coins that I am personally buying, not to say like, hey, you should buy them, or he's trying to pump his bags with 2,000 views. Like, no, I'm just telling you what I am buying, right? Do whatever you want. So if we look at historical data, why are launchpads now such a great option? Matter of fact, if you look at the top coins on my portfolio, all launchpad tokens right now. Okay, it's really containing the most part of my portfolio at this moment. I'm that convinced. We are now in the stage of the market where people believe in the market again, right? Some people still don't, but some people cannot be saved, I guess, right? But we are now in the stage of the market. We're not at the bottom. We're not in that slow run up, right? We were approaching all-time highs, back to approaching all-time highs, right? Same as here, we're going up, down, and we're now in a nice run up, right? Now, this is the time where people believe in the market again. They make money so they can gamble, as far as it's gambling, on new launches again. Now, if you look, when did the best launches occur? It's not the best time to step in here like you do on the open market, or here, or here, right? It's not. The best time is actually here. Let me show you. And again, this stage is what we are about to get. Watch yesterday's video. 5 examples. Engine starting. All-time high ROI. So they released token. How high did it went to the highest point? Right? December 2021. ChainGPT came as an exception to the rule. They came in the bear market and they completely outperformed. But if you look at Engine Starter, you see a lot of end of 2021 right here, right? Here, see April as well, as that was the technical first stop, by the way. You see November 2021, October 2021, November 2021, December 2021, right? Great launches. Cetify, same case. October, December, August, November, December, November 2021, right? It's most of those launches that happened, which had hundreds of X's, that happened in this period right here. Right? That's a fact. That's what we are seeing right here. Pools Finance, August, April, October, April, May, right? April, September, August. So with Pools Finance, kind of similar, but also a lot around this first peak. Fine, fair enough, right? Not a big difference when it comes to market height. This is paid finance. September, December, August, April, August, March, December, March. And you see that it's not like one launchpad that happened to have some good launches in some. It is every launchpad basically that was around back then. They had insane returns. And I'm talking about 200, 200, 190, 180x, 170, like crazy, right? Let me tell you, you only have to catch one of those, right? If you have one 200x, and there's a catch to this, I know what you may be thinking, and I will talk about that. But if you have one of those and you can get out at a good price, you pay back for all the, in this case, pool tokens or paid tokens that you had to buy to stake them, right? And another one, Downmaker, also September, February, November, July, kind of in the middle for some reason, right? September, April, beginning, right? February, May, December, also insane numbers. 300 X's, 200 X's, all over the place. Now, like I said, there is a catch. That's the all-time high ROI. One, if a token comes out and it goes there at a certain point, you will not sell that exact top in the first place. Plus, it works in vestings. For a lot of launches, nowadays you get 25+% at TGE. Back then it may have been 10, right? But even if you got 10% of this project at TGE and you sold somewhere close to the top, right? 300x, and you got 10%, you still had a 30x right in the pocket. So if you had a good stake and you invested 5K, for example, let's say 2K, and you made a 30x of $60,000, right, out of a 2K investment on TGE. And the rest, because that was September, you get it vested over, different per project, but over a couple of months, right? So let's say you got it right here, September. The rest you got it vested during a large part of the bull market and a part in the bear market, right? But if you already have your initial back here, plus a lot of profit, then the rest what you get in the bear market is also profit, right? And that's an insane passive income that you can use to DCA into Bitcoin in the next bear market. Again, don't buy altcoins in the bear market, buy Bitcoin in the bear market, I would say. So therefore, launchpads are a great way of getting exposure to new projects. New projects in a bull market, it's always a good thing, right? I know there are a lot of projects. Do we need more? I don't know, not necessarily. But is there money to be made on more of those? Yeah. And this is the safest way to do so, right? And again, if you look at the numbers of the last cycle, insane, really insane. I'm not saying we will now also get 300, 400, 500 X's. But if you look how many there were in the last bull market, there's just one launchpad, right? There will be a couple of those. And you only have to catch one, right? Therefore, I'm big on launchpads. And w- I mean big as in, I don't want $500 allocation on a new launch. I want $5,000 allocation. Again, because if it doesn't work out, I'm gonna ask for a refund. But if it does do it 300x, that's decent, right? So I give you 5 launchpads right now. 4 low risk, 5 higher risk, and 1 special special mention, honorable mention actually. So the first one, I'm not gonna explain all of their exact refund policies and this and that, and that's all different per launchpad and how long you have to stake it and where the team is located, etc., etc. Do your research on them, okay? I just want to show you like, hey, this one I'm looking at, this one I'm buying. CDFI, fully, honestly, my biggest holding, right? My biggest holding. CDFI is one of the first launchpads, and this is the blue chip launchpad as well. $90 million market cap at the moment. I think that this has a lot of upside. CDFI went to 350 million during a non-alt season. Okay, so this means that if there's any logic in this market, which often there isn't, but in this case I do think there is. Next year, this 350 million will easily be taken out. I think at least 500 million for CDFI. And I'm not here to throw price predictions, by the way, but I can see this do a 6x quite easily, actually. CDFI is so innovative, and this is definitely one of the safer launchpads as well. Next one is ChainGPT. ChainGPT is almost every day I see news from ChainGPT that makes me go like, whoa. They are newer. They do everything right from the start. It's absolutely incredible how innovative the ChainGPT team is. Like really, really, really insane. So I love what these guys are doing. I do think that they just have the AI hype right now, and they had some great launches lately as well. If you look at ChainGPT, and don't compare it to these numbers right here, right? Because these are peak bull numbers. We are nowhere peak bull at this moment yet. But lately, the launches that happened for a lot of launch pads, they were you were happy if you didn't get wrecked at TGE, right? So if you look at ChainGPT, they release a lot, right? They release a lot. But if you look at the numbers, 30x, 5x, 2.5, 26, 2, 13, 3, almost 4, 6, right? And it's again, you're not gonna sell that at the top exactly, but you can also see like, hey, even if I would have never sold this one, for example, I made it 12x. I put $1,000 in, for example. If I would sell it right now, I have 12k, right? And then we have this one, and then we have this one. So the current ROI is also really good. ChainGPT is doing everything right. They have a partnership with, well, they have DGenPad, which is another launch pad of them with more risky launches. And if you stake on ChainGPT, you automatically get allocation there as well. They're having a partnership with DexTPad from Dex Tools upcoming. So crazy. ChainGPT almost became my highest holding actually because they had a really decent run up lately. I think that this thing has a long way to go, and this could be $1 billion project. The next one, which is in the safer category, if you ask me, is paid network. Now, paid network is an older launchpad as well. And if you look at the price, you would say like, "Whoa, if it gets back right here, then blah, blah, blah." Don't think like that. It's about market cap, right? And the market cap was sitting at, let's say, 500 million, right? They are now at a tenth of that. Um, it's true that there's more competition right now, nowadays, right? Like back in 2021, there were not 500 launchpads out there, and now there are. However, I do think that they can come close to this. Paid Network is also a really good launchpad. They had some really decent releases. The UI is clear, and this is slightly lower cap than the others that I just mentioned. And I have a good allocation in this. Been talking about this for a while already. Mainly because if I look at the price action over the last couple of year, then I said earlier as well, right? Like, hey, they had that run up right here. They got stuck at 4 or 5 cents, and they completely broke out, and then they came back down to that level. And I said, like, this is the level, right? And now they already went all the way to like 15 cents, and they're now back at 10. I think that this is a great level to get in. Um, Next launchpad, which I think should be considered in the safer category, is Decubate. Decubate, low cap as well, but one of the launchpads that makes me feel most safe as well. There are a lot of restrictions in Europe. It's not all that nice, and they have everything right. They have it all settled on paper. It's good. The founder is transparent. I had an interview with him once. Do check it out. And Decubate is really a launchpad that I think can do fantastic. They were nowhere to be found right here at 100K market cap for some reason, and they completely blew up to $100 million market cap. I don't know what happened right there with 1,000x or so. But this wasn't, I think that this wasn't realistic right here. They're now at 16. This should be way higher. The allocations on Decubate are a little smaller. Then again, they offer you a lot of chances as well to get into projects for free. They have these learn to earn events, right? If they have a new project coming, you can learn about it, answer some questions, and you get some free tokens of those, right? And literally, there is free money in crypto, and this is one of the ways, right? And if that project then does 100x peak bull, then your free allocation can be a good bag of money. And I don't see why you should fade this. So Decubate, Chain GPT, Paid Network, Seedify are my four most safe launchpads out there with still a lot of upside. So that's how I'm positioned around the top of my portfolio. Then I also have a positioning around the bottom of my portfolio with lower amounts of money, but still with projects that I think have a lot of upside. Otherwise, I wouldn't have them. And these contain some lower market cap launchpads with still, I think, upside. One of those is Engine Starter. Now, I'm not gonna name all the cons about a project in this video. There is a reason why I have no big position in Engine Starter right now. But there is also a reason why I do have it in my portfolio in the first place. And I do think that if Engine Starter is able to have a little more positive sentiment, um, then this could be a great call. And one of the things that bothers me a little bit is, for example, the liquidity. Right? If you look at the on-chain liquidity, 35K, that's below shitcoin levels. Right? So yeah, it's very hard to get into Engine Starter because they just simply basically tell us like, hey, you cannot buy us. We are too low in liquidity. And if there are whales in the project, they can dump it. They can't even sell, right? Let alone maintain a good price. So they have to work out some real urgent, in my opinion, problems that need to be prioritized, which they are not doing right now. But that should not always be a reason for you to say, like, okay, skip, because if they do solve it, then it's too late for you to buy. So this should be, for me, this is a fuck it. I have some money that I am willing to lose, and I'm gonna put it in just in case this thing does a 20x, and that could happen with this kind of thing. So that's Engine Starter. The next one is Gains Associates. Now, the only reason actually why I put this in the higher risk category is because they are just super low on market cap. But Gains is an insane platform. They released Blocktopia private sale, did 1,000x. They initially released AVAX. They had Quant. They had a lot of interesting projects actually releasing in the past, and this thing goes back a lot in time, right? Like if you look at the max, like they go back to 2021 as well. And if you look at market cap, yeah, they were sitting at a $40 million market cap. Thing is, back then they were only a private launchpad, right? Now they, not too long ago, somewhere here, I think, they also made a public launchpad, right? Which basically means refund policy, lower allocation, but refund policy. So you can choose which one you want to go into. So with gains at 3.8 million, I am kind of looking like, why isn't this higher? Because it needs to be higher. It's better than the valuation that it has. And that means that it's heavily undervalued, if you ask me. So therefore, gains is a launchpad that I would not fade, and definitely look into it. Also, slight liquidity things, not as bad as engine starter and at anyway though, but still, if you look at the token, they have 150k liquidity. It's not a professional amount or anything. Then again, their market cap is also really low, so that kind of makes sense. Next one, also high risk, Spartadex. Spartadex is a newer one. They moved to Linea. They're still in Arbitrum, but they also moved to Linea. I see that that's not smart, as Linea has no adoption. So I hope they someday move their launchpad from Linea to base, whatever. Price, it did incredible right here, like 15x, and it got completely wrecked all the way back down here. They're now lower than where they were over here before the big pump, actually. Um, it's a risky one, but they had some good launches, actually. They really had good launches, and I think that Spartadex could be the one that one day completely moons from this point. Like, it's a $2.5 million market cap. Like, even if it does 100x, it's not even higher than some of the other launchpads that we just talked about, right? So, saying it will, but I do see where the potential upside is sitting on this one. And then we have another one, which is, yeah, again, also high risk. Game Starter. Look, Game Starter, it has the word game in it. Gaming in 2025 will be big. I think that there are, everything lines up. There are a lot of people that now say, like, it's not going to happen. And that's another reason why I think it could happen. But Game Starter has been bleeding really hard, right? CoinGecko had a bug. I thought I was freaking rich right here. Turned out I wasn't. But they are really bleeding, 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 bleeding. Now, one of the reasons is because they didn't have any lunches, right? Since May, they had nothing, and before that, the lunches completely sucked, right? IconX was okay, but now it's also already under IDO price, right? But they don't do a lot of lunches right now. Now, the team is saying that in 2025 they will. And I personally don't know what they're waiting for right now. Then again, let's assume that it's 2025 and they start releasing again and the market overall is up, so these launches do well. People put their money in the most low cap thing that they can find, right? So I just look at this right now and be like, okay, it's a gamble, but if I want to buy it anywhere, then better to do it now, because in the next year it might be too late. Then another one, which is also kind of an honorable mention, by the way, because it's less risky, and it just came on my radar. I don't have a position in this one yet. The rest I all have positions. This one I don't yet, because I'm still waiting for the team to answer me something. But that's Easy. Easy is now a somewhat newer kid on the block. Actually, as you can see right here, it came out in April. And the cool thing is that Easy has really similar launches to similar to Chain GPT and DGenPad. They had FOMO, AI voice agents. They had Ithaka, however you pronounce it, Super Meme. They had Auto, Earnum, Alchemist, right? RWA was a good one. They really have some good launches, actually. And then I just look at this launchpad and be like, okay, this might really be an interesting one. Now, the only thing that I don't know sure yet is what their market cap is, because Dex Tools, CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, CryptoRank, they are all giving different answers. And on every of these platforms, it is low cap. But what the actual market cap versus the fully diluted is, I don't know that. And I asked their team in their Telegram, but they said like they're gonna find it out. But I don't have an answer yet, so I cannot tell you that at this moment. Nevertheless, it is low cap. They have good launches. They're new. They price wise, they are not doing that fantastic, but that might also be because of the fact that they had token inflation. If you look at the ESE token as a crypto asset and the vesting, yeah, then you can see right here the reason why they were going down is mainly because they had a lot of unlocks, right, for the marketplace, mining, liquidity, private, seed is now dumping, KOLs were dumping, staking, airdrop was in the first month, that marketing, public sale was dumping, right? A lot of those are over already, but that explains the downwards price. It's not necessarily because the launchpad itself is not performing or anything. So these are 9, 4 lower risk, 5 higher risk, although I think that this one is the least high risk of the last 5. And then I have an honorable mention, which is my own project, and I don't want to like shield that or anything. But if we do talk about launchpads, then we have to talk about Web3 whales. What we do is basically is we all invest in launchpads and in their launches collectively, right? And the money that we make, we put that in the staking contract on RD app, right? So if you are staking, you can here stake your token. If your wallet is connected, you see how much you staked. Almost everything, by the way, it's freaking insane. And then based on how much you stake, you just claim the share of the money that we make. And the benefit is we do it with more money, right? Because we collectively invest. So we can afford a chain GPT 5 triple X diamond, whatever the highest tier is, right? We can invest in a really high seedified tier, in Neo Tokyo Citizen 1 NFTs, right? Things that you might not be able to do as an individual investor. And therefore, we cannot invest 5K in a new project or $500 in a new project, but 10K, right? As soon as we hit the period in the market where launches do hundreds of X's, that's going to be insane for us. And that money is also flowing back into our token through a buyback and burn, for example. And during launchpad season, that's what you're going to notice on the token price, but also in the payouts, right? So we are now very much in the preparation stage of it. If you look at the complete chart, it's not different than the rest of the market, right? We went up, we went all the way to 8 cents. We had a public and private sale earlier. We were 100x above that, by the way, which is quite crazy because I just wanted to make sure that there like was a lot of buying pressure still for the open market. So there was no big private sale, just 30K or so, right? And people just bought more and more and more and more and more and staked it. Then when the market turned negative, we turned negative as well. And now that the market is turning up a bit again, we are turning up a bit again, right? We're just going with the market, of course. And I think that next year we're going to do that on steroids, right? So I cannot, as a founder, give you like price predictions or whatever. Like, I don't know. All I know, there's a lot of money flowing into Web3 whales. And with this market cap, I can do the math myself. But do check it out. So these are 10 coins, tokens that I think are gonna really perform really well next year. The only thing that can cancel my whole expectation is if we somehow get a bear market this year, right? But then still, then again, watch yesterday's video and then you'll know that that's not the most likely outcome. So, want to wrap it up here. Do with it whatever you want. Don't take it as financial advice. Don't buy it because I buy it, whatever. I'm just telling you, hey guys, I am buying this. And I think that this is going to be one of the winning sectors. And by the end of next year, we can tell if that was the right call or not. And for now, we can wait and gamble into that idea or not. For now, thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on, and I'll see you guys in the next one.